In 2013, Gordon visited Easton, Pennsylvania, home to Italian fine dining restaurant Bella Luna. Owner Rosaria bought the restaurant 3 years earlier to fulfill her newly qualified son, Gianfranco's, dream of running a restaurant when he left culinary school. Having studied in Italy, the rookie chef is confident that his food can't be the problem with the restaurant. Though diners don't seem to agree.
The food is not the problem here. It's probably more of the community really don't know about fresh, authentic Italian food.
The decor is cluttered and eclectic, with manager Tracy thinking it looks like a morgue. Not an inviting atmosphere for a good night out. Gordon drives up to the restaurant and is ambushed by manager Tracy before he's even managed to get out of his car. Telling Gordon that he's a special visitor and commenting that he smells good, Chef Ramsay's new fan gives him the lowdown on how Rosaria's restaurants run. She thinks that owner Rosaria works hard, but struggles to lead her team effectively.
On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad are they?
-2.
Oh, shit.
Tracy tells Gordon that Rosaria is stubborn and overprotective of her son, defending his cooking when diners complain about the food. Instead of being busy, locals are avoiding the restaurant, leading the staff to run special events that may draw in crowds and fill empty seats.
I run a 50 Shades of Grey bingo on a Thursday night.
Say that again?
50 Shades of Grey bingo.
Bingo.
That may be the first time we've ever seen Gordon look so shocked before he's even made it through the restaurant doors. They head inside, where Chef Ramsay is confused by the dining room's Christmas decorations, because his visit is taking place in July. Owner Rosaria greets Gordon with a warm Italian hug and kiss and leads him to the bar for a chat. Rosaria tells Gordon that she and her family have zero restaurant experience, much to Gordon's horror. But she tells him that the food is fresh and authentic, and that they don't use their one freezer. The problem appears to be that the locals are used to frozen food, and don't enjoy the real thing. Ramsay looks unconvinced. It's time to meet the chef, Gianfranco, who believes the problem at the restaurant is communication, as it's hard for a son to disagree with his mother. But he rates his food an 8. Gordon sits down to eat and is given 3 different menus to pick from: lunch, dinner, and bar food. As the head chef watches on nervously, Gordon selects his dishes, and Tracy takes the order to the kitchen. While he waits for his food, Chef Ramsay takes the opportunity to speak to one of the servers, who tells him that the problem with the restaurant is name-calling and disrespect from the management.
She seems like a nice girl.
No.
What do you mean?
No. Out of her mind.
Serious?
Yes, chef.
Tracy believes that the server is, as she calls her, a moron and should be fired. It looks like she's right about the name-calling, though. The first dish sent out is the veal saltimbocca. It looks completely unappetizing and doesn't taste any better. It's been over-tenderized, leaving it tough and chewy. Rosaria watches on and wonders aloud what could have gone wrong with the dish.
Unless you overcooked it?
I did not overcook it, bro.
This is so overcooked. It's extraordinary.
Gordon scrapes raw flour from the top of the veal and sends it back to the kitchen. Next up, it's the penne alla vodka, which is served swimming in bland, disgusting sauce that Gordon calls baby vomit. And worse, the pasta is mushy and overcooked. The line chef admits he sent out yesterday's pasta with the dish, but Gianfranco believes day-old pasta tastes just as good. When Rosaria is called over to taste the dish, she too believes it's good. While Gordon thinks an Italian restaurant that can't serve decent pasta is embarrassing. Ouch. Finally, Gordon samples the mussels marinara, which is the smallest portion Gordon has ever seen. He then accidentally bites into a whole clove of garlic among the chewy mussels, which he thinks taste frozen. And to top it off, he discovers that the measly dish costs $10. Gianfranco admits Gordon is right. The mussels are frozen. The disappointed chef feels the food was not authentic Italian at all, and it's better to remove the dish from the menu than serve frozen rubbish. Demonstrating the miscommunication problems within the restaurant, the mother and son squabble over who should take responsibility for the menu. Gordon tells them that if they can't get the basics right, fresh pastas, simple seasoning, and tasty sauces, they have no hope of success. Later that day, Gordon returns to observe the kitchen at work and is shocked that instead of tickets, the chefs work from scrawled orders on a notepad. Within minutes of arriving, Gordon intercepts some frozen shrimp that have been defrosted in the microwave and finds a wash hand basin full of defrosted chicken, which is then prepared right next to cooked meatballs. He struggles to find any of the fresh ingredients that Rosaria is so proud of, and which she still seems to believe are being prepared in the kitchen. When the frozen chicken is pointed out to her, Rosaria explains to Gordon that though she believes in using fresh food, the restaurant doesn't always use it. So that's crystal clear. Deciding to discover the scale of the frozen food problem for himself, Gordon heads to the freezer. He finds tray after tray of frozen chicken, mussels, and calamari. He calls Rosaria to show her how much frozen food her restaurant is actually serving, but she argues that the calamari they serve is fresh, because it was delivered fresh that morning before they froze it. The old fresh frozen argument again. Rosaria says she can't take responsibility for the kitchen, and she doesn't have the experience to run every area of the restaurant. She believes the blame lies with her son, the chef. So, Gordon goes to him. Back in the basement, Rosaria now defends the frozen chicken, saying that they purchase it fresh and then bread it before they freeze it. So in her mind, it's still freshly prepared.
I don't
get
like
this.
frozen food.
You're endorsing it. You run a business selling it.
Rosaria can't accept that using frozen ingredients is causing the restaurant's problems. And Gordon can't believe she could be so naive about her own business. Meeting over. Now that he's investigated the freezer, Gordon is ready to see what is lurking in the refrigerator. It isn't good. He finds rotten fruits and vegetables, along with slimy, out-of-date meat.
It makes me gag. That is veal. Oh, you dirty bastards.
When presented with a moldy avocado, Rosaria assures Gordon that it wasn't going to be served. It was her personal produce. He's heard that one before. As Gordon forces the chefs to touch the disgusting, rotten food, they admit to walking into the refrigerator 100 times a day. A defensive Rosaria doesn't understand the problem if they're not serving it to customers. Gordon can't wait to hear Rosaria's excuses for the discolored, stinking veal slices. She keeps quiet, but Chef Gianfranco insists it is only 2 days old, which seems highly unlikely. And the news for the team keeps getting worse. While Gordon is mid-flow telling them how lazy and disgusting their hygiene is, manager Tracy brings back a plate that has a hair in the food. It's the final straw for a furious Gordon, who shuts the restaurant down. Tracy heads out to the dining room and breaks the news to the customers, who leave and head home. Gordon tells Gianfranco that he seems to have given up and needs to step up to make the restaurant work. Rosaria cannot contain her emotions as Gordon asks why the family thought they could run a restaurant when they hadn't even worked in one.
And an owner that's in fucking denial.
I'm not in denial. I'm not.
After denying that she's in denial, Rosaria agrees with her bar manager and son that the family either need to go all in or walk away. The next day, Gordon decides it's time to get to the truth of what's going on within the business, and puts the owner and chef on trial. As witness Tracy outlines Rosaria's management and leadership failings, the owner defends herself by reminding the team that she can't do everything around the restaurant. When she's told by Gianfranco that she's too nice and a walkover, Rosaria admits that her son would have been fired from his chef's position in any other restaurant. She tells him to find his passion again, proving that she's not as laid back as he believes. Taking his turn on the stand, Gianfranco admits that he hates the size of the huge menu and doesn't like many of the dishes on it. Rosaria tells him to man up and make the changes he believes are necessary. Gordon feels it's time to give the family some extra input. The courtroom fills with locals who are all recent customers of Bella Luna. From a fly in the wedding soup to a family's entrees being served at different times, the complaints begin to roll in. One dissatisfied customer shares her experience of being given a sour cannoli, which Rosaria replaced with a fresh cannoli when she complained. But why was the bad pastry ever served in the first place? Rosaria doesn't have an answer. Gordon asks all the previous diners to give the restaurant another chance. That night, Chef Ramsay's team move in to give Bella Luna a much-needed makeover. The next morning, Gordon reveals a light and vibrant dining room. Dark and drab wall colors have been replaced with a cool, light gray, and the dated tables and chairs have been replaced with rustic wood-finished tables and vibrant red benches. Simple white flowers, metallic wall planters, and a chopping board mosaic give the contemporary restaurant a distinct personality. And the final touch is a state-of-the-art POS system. As well as producing professional tickets, it can take some of the strain from a Rosaria by tracking costs, inventory, and staffing. Next, it's time to see the new menu. Steamed mussels, fresh tagliatelle, rich lasagna, and pan-seared salmon make the team's mouths water. As diners begin to arrive for the relaunch, many are familiar faces from the town hall meeting. Food starts leaving the kitchen, and diners are loving the authentic Italian food. But before long, the kitchen begins to get backed up. Orders are getting confused, and the standards of the plates are dropping dramatically. Pulling Gianfranco aside, a furious Gordon hurls a plate to the floor in frustration, as he tells the chef to pull it back together. Rosaria offers words of support, and her son begins to take control of the kitchen once again. As he finds his voice, food starts flying out to happy diners. After service, Gordon tells Gianfranco that he needs to retain the voice he's finally found, and wishes them luck. Though he still believes the family wasn't ready, Gordon feels he's given them the tools they need to turn their business around. In the following months, business boomed for the family. However, following landlord issues, the restaurant had to close temporarily, and as the episode ended, they were searching for a new location for Bella Luna. The Bella Luna episode was the last episode of the 7th season of Kitchen Nightmares. It was filmed in July 2013 and was aired in May 2014, achieving an IMDB rating of 6.5 out of 10. That's the worst Kitchen Nightmares rating in 7 seasons. Viewers found the episode frustrating and forgettable. When you subtract the revisited episodes and one episode from the new 8th season, Bella Luna comes in dead last amongst any of the original American Kitchen Nightmares episodes, based on viewers' ratings on IMDb. Despite the fact that Gordon shut the restaurant down, many fans couldn't remember any particular moments, and many found the back-and-forth bickering and blaming between mother and son annoying. Both Rosaria and her son Gianfranco come in for a fair amount of criticism when the show aired. Rosaria was accused of spouting nonsense. The fresh frozen argument comes up often, and her defense of the sour cannoli didn't go down well either. She was called out on repeatedly passing the blame for the restaurant's problems to her son, though some viewers did sympathize that she just had too much on her plate. As for the head chef, Gianfranco, viewers had one single complaint about him, and that was that he wouldn't, or couldn't, stand up to his mother. The owners are often included in the clueless category of Kitchen Nightmares owners, though to be fair, they admitted that themselves during Gordon's visit. One popular fan theory about the episode's failure to resonate is that the family didn't have any financial repercussions. Though they mentioned not taking paychecks, maybe the financial pressure often seen during other episodes wasn't there, so the drive for real improvement wasn't either. In an episode with few standout moments, there was one standout personality though. From the moment she ambushed Gordon in the parking lot, Tracy, the manager, became a fan favorite. Viewers loved her crazy 50 Shades bingo, and the complete shock on Gordon's face as he processed what that might involve. And they all wanted to know what the poor waitress had done to be branded an idiot. Her other highlight was telling Gordon how good he smelled. She's not the first to do that. In fact, Gordon was asked about it on Twitter a few months after the Bella Luna episode aired. In case you're wondering, he wears Aventus cologne by Creed. Back to the restaurant. When Bella Luna launched, there were bold claims about freshness to attract new customers. The restaurant had previously been called Gennaro's, and the family was keen to switch from the Italian-American favorites they inherited to more authentic Italian cuisine. Reviews from before Gordon's visit were very poor, with diners complaining of inedible dishes and high prices. But it clearly wasn't just the food that was a problem. The service also seems to have been pretty dismal. And that's reflected in the restaurant's Yelp rating of just 2.6 out of 5. Unfortunately, that rating also includes reviews left after Gordon's visit, and the launch of the new, updated menu. While the standard of the food appeared to have lifted, there were still management issues, with customer favorites regularly coming off the menu. And there were many complaints about small portion sizes and relatively high prices. Gordon's visit to Bella Luna attracted a lot of attention from the local community, who were excited to sample the celebrity chef's dishes. Local papers reported that it was Gianfranco's inexperience that was causing the issues in the restaurant. And Gordon and the Kitchen Nightmares team offered intensive training, as well as a manual for him to follow when filming was over. Local coverage of Gordon's visit certainly seems to have paid off. His presence caused a buzz and helped boost customer numbers at the restaurant in the months that followed. In fact, Rosaria reported that revenue tripled after Gordon's visit, and the restaurant was busy as they looked for a new location. So why did they have to shut the doors on the now thriving business and find another venue? Rosaria told reporters that they had moved out of the location due to a dispute with the landlord. The landlord was a little clearer. The dispute was caused by Rosaria not paying her rent for months. Viewers were frustrated that Gordon and his team had wasted time and energy on a business that was forced to move because of an accounting issue. That's a fair point, seeing as the family waited 18 months for Gordon to visit, and his team then spent a full week filming with the family. When Rosaria and her sons moved their business out of the building, it was quickly taken over by another Italian restaurant called Di Lorenzo's, which didn't get great ratings but stayed in business for 12 years. It looks like they served the fresh, authentic dishes Gordon expected at Bella Luna. More recently, the space has been taken over by Tony's Pizza and Restaurant, which has been open for 12 years, and clearly getting things right as they needed a bigger venue. But what happened next for Bella Luna? Well, sadly, they never did move to another venue. Soon after, the restaurant temporarily closed. It was hit with another problem. Pennsylvania State Police discovered that a liquor license had expired 2 months prior to Gordon's visit, meaning that alcohol had been sold illegally over a period of 2 weeks. Another administrative error by owners who didn't know better? Probably, but this mistake may have had far-reaching consequences. While penalties can often be a simple fine, venues also risk losing their liquor license completely for this level of violation. And that would have been a big problem for Bella Luna. Rosaria's bar manager's son wasn't featured heavily in the episode, but was an important member of the team and creator of the Bella Lunatini. He was featured as Bartender of the Week by a local newspaper soon after the restaurant opened.
How you doing? My name is Mauricio. I'm here at Bella Luna on Sullivan Trail, and today I'm going to show you how to make our signature martini called a Bella Luna Martini.
The bar was obviously a big and profitable part of the business. The risk of not being able to reopen it would have been a big problem for the restaurant. In fact, it may have been a deal breaker for the business that led to Bella Luna never reopening. But what happened to owner Rosaria and her son Gianfranco? Well, Gianfranco obviously found the Kitchen Nightmares experience a good one because he posted on Facebook to encourage his friends to watch the episode. But it seems he's no longer a chef. He moved from a role in a country club to working at Great American Power, and then became a logistics and operations manager. He got engaged to his fiancée Erin in 2020 and has a 2-year-old son called Luca. And it looks like he still enjoys a Bella Lunatini from time to time. Saluti. As for Rosaria, she appears to be happy and healthy, and enjoying spending time with her husband. She regularly shares photos with her grandson, and is clearly a devoted nonna. But is she still running a restaurant? Well, no. But she's currently describing herself as a personal chef, though her business doesn't seem to have any online presence. We are glad the family all seem to be doing well and wish them luck for the future.